In this video, we will demonstrate human brain analysis in Pmod, specifically automatic brain VOIs for human PET MR. In this case, we can use the MR anatomical information and segmentation to identify the grey and white matter, to use a detailed brain atlas, limited if we wish to grey matter, to analyze our PET data in detail. This is all performed in the Neuro Tool, and the Neuro Tool includes three main workflows: automatic brain region definition using MR anatomy and an atlas based on the probability of a voxel belonging to a certain region, automatic brain region definition through parcellation of T1 MR images, and comparison of individual data to databases of normal subject PET images. In this demonstration, we will go through the first workflow, using data from an experimental PET tracer targeting an enzyme involved in tau protein tangling. Extra more advanced exercises using this data for kinetic modeling and parametric mapping are available. Here we focus on the basics of the Neuro Tool, so you should ask the Pmod team for more information. In the configuration of the Neuro Tool, accessed in the lower left, we can set useful features such as species recognition, the workflow that we will start with, and we can turn on the reorientation to standard orientation. This is the orientation that Pmod uses for the built-in atlases, as seen now in the top left of the tool. With experience, you can load the PET and MR data together from the database directly, but if cropping or processing of the PET is required, individual loading of the PET data can be more convenient. On the Maximum Probability Atlas tab that we will now work through, we can select the atlas in the top left. You'll see that there are many atlases available. Most commonly used are the human atlases in the top of the tool. Atlases that you create yourself using the workflows described in the documentation will appear in this list and be available as well. For a given atlas, we have the atlas maps, we have the brain template that is used, we have tissue probability maps for grey, white and CSF, and we have a mask that can be used during the normalization process. We start by loading a functional image from the database. In this case, we'll use the demo database, search for subjects with a name starting PK, and select PKIN6, for which we have 4 series available. And for this demonstration, we'll use the dynamic PET baseline. After loading, an average image is created automatically. The frames used for the average are controlled by the selector in the center right. In this case, we see that we're using a range from 10 to 20. As in previous exercises, the purpose of an average image is to get a better overview of the tracer uptake in the brain. In this case, it's used for rigid matching to the MRI. So this could be an early average for tracers with rapid extraction, or it could be a late average if we have trapping in the brain. The average can be examined using the fusion controls and compared to the dynamic. In this case, as you can see from the image display, we have quite a lot of empty space in the image around the head. In this case, we can crop to improve the workflow. In the lower right, we have a checkbox to turn on cropping. In default mode, we can position this box ourselves. Auto cropping is useful for batch processing, but you should test it to make sure that it works for your data first. Since we have an MR available for anatomy, we can select MR in the lower right as our anatomical reference, and then we can proceed to the MR page. We have a warning about cropping of our image. This is fine. On the MR page, we can then load the anatomical reference data. We should select the radio button for T1 in the mid right, and then from the database we can load the 3D T1 weighted reference image for this particular example. This 3D T1 weighted image will be used for segmentation of the grey matter. And again, cropping is recommended when you have a large field of view like this. The box can be positioned by clicking where you want the center to be, and obviously we should include the whole brain while excluding tissue that we don't need. The segmentation settings required are heavily dependent on the MR quality and contrast. With a high quality MR, with clear grey-white matter contrast, no motion artifacts, low noise, low bias due to head coil inhomogeneity, no or low denoising and bias regularization can be sufficient. Along with coarse resampling of either 3 or 6 millimeters. The 3 probability maps method is equivalent to SPM 8, while the 6 probability maps method is equivalent to SPM 12. We can now start segmentation using the Segment T1 MR workflow button, also accepting cropping of the MRI. The segmentation process includes elastic normalization to the template space, and it will take some minutes depending on the power of your computer, the resolution of the data, and the image quality. The resulting identification of grey and white matter should be inspected and adjusted if necessary. We have the fusion controls in the top right, allowing you to blend segments of grey and white matter in and out. You can also zoom in to the image and use fusion modes such as windowing of the tissue segments, then click in the image to see how small areas of the contours correspond to grey and white. Note that the segmentation touch-up can only apply global adjustments. In case of a very poor result, you should return to the MR page and rerun the segmentation with improved settings. The degree of accuracy required is dependent on the desired result space and whether the tissue probability maps will be used elsewhere. For example, small clusters of voxels identified as grey matter that fall outside the brain will likely also fall outside the VOI atlas regions and be ignored. Additionally, if the desired result space is PET or template, the low resolution may also make the influence of small inaccuracies negligible. We can now proceed using the Match PET to MR workflow button, which will use the default settings shown above. This will match the average PET image to the MR anatomy, so that we have the same transformation available for the dynamic PET. The result of the rigid matching between the average PET and the cropped MR should then also be assessed, and the MR to template normalization method selected. The standard Pmod fusion controls are available to inspect the matching result. Adjustments are only possible using manual translations and rotations, and alternatively you can return to the MR segments page, adjust the smoothing or matching sampling settings, and then rematch. When MR segmentation was used, the use of the probability maps transformation is strongly recommended. The split brain option is useful if you want detailed white matter VOIs. Now we can continue through the workflow using the Normalize workflow button. Again, the general normalization result can be assessed using the fusion controls. The normalized MR is shown in fusion mode with the MR template. And creating a general brain outline from the template image using the controls to contour A can be quite useful. Then we can move the fusion slider to show only our individual image and see how its outer contour compares to the template outer contour. The segment brain workflow button then takes us to the next processing step where the result space can be selected. The intersection of the VOI atlas and the tissue probability maps is shown in fusion mode on the MR. For a PET-MR workflow, 3 result space options are available. Atlas space, in which the PET and MR are transformed to match the SPM template space and resolution and bounding box, and then input space, within which we can choose either the original but cropped MR space, likely to be the highest resolution for smooth VOIs, or the PET space, making sure that we perform our analysis on the original PET data. By default, masking of grey matter by the individual grey matter probability is used. Masking the non-cortical regions allows trimming of subcortical VOIs by the grey matter mask. This means regions such as the basal ganglia, thalamus, and brainstem. Finally, the segments are outlined into VOIs using the outline workflow button. This step can also take some time depending on the number of VOIs and the processing power of your computer. The resulting VOIs are shown on a fusion of the MR and the average PET in the chosen result space. You can choose to display the dynamic PET by adjusting the select functional, displayed functional in the lower right. We can change from AVR for the average to FUN for the functional original dynamic data. Then we see the time frame slider become active in the top right. The tree structure of the VOIs can be expanded to see the full list. And then the VOIs that you want to work with can be selected, VOIs removed, or unions made using usual tools. If you want to use batch processing later, activating the QC, quality control, checkbox on the right-hand side is highly recommended. This will create a JPEG capture showing how the VOIs overlay the PET data so that you have some automatic record of the success of the normalization process. Saving the protocol is also highly recommended so that the whole workflow can be rerun and as a starting point for batch processing. Again, we recommend that the protocol is saved into the database, in this case the demo database, and this is the workflow for the baseline PET. Parametric mapping can be activated using the green box on the right-hand side or set to none when we're performing simpler statistics. And partial volume correction methods are also available. These are described in more detail in the documentation. Standard statistics can be calculated as part of the workflow using the statistics button in the lower right. The calculation of all the time activity curves can also take some time. In this case, we have many VOIs and quite a number of time frames. The time activity curves are displayed for all of the selected VOIs, and a number of post-processing options are provided. For example, we can select the frames 33 to 35 and average mode to provide us with an average value for the time period 120 to 130 minutes post-injection. This could also be made relative to a certain region if we're trying to calculate SUVR for appropriate tracers. The full time activity curves can also be sent to the kinetic modeling tool directly. as well as saved in time activity curve format or as our statistics format.